There we go. Now I don't have a microphone issue, and I might start again. Who loves a bit of live streaming? Okay, so weekly update number 65. If you can hear me, please let me know if you are on. I don't think we've got anybody watching quite yet. And this week we have an awful lot of things to go through. We're going to talk to you about some visas which have finally arrived. We had a couple of dry weeks, but we've got some visas in now. We've also got some reports back from clients who have been out on appointments with us, and we're going to read them top to bottom and tell you what that's all about. We're also going to tell you about the videos that we've got coming up soon this weekend. Some fantastic videos coming up this weekend with other YouTubers. We've got all sorts of photos that have been sent in by clients, and we've also got our favorite YouTube comments which we are going to answer. So there we go. We've got two people on now. Let me know if you can hear me. Hang on, here we go. Hey, Stu and Joron, hey, how you doing? Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? I'll tell you cómo estoy in a minute. And Robo's on, so let's cue the intro to if I can find it. Weekly update number 65. Okay, there we go. And ¿cómo estás? Well, the honest truth is today, cream crackered. And I don't know what the Spanish translation is for cream crackered, but if there is one, that's how we are. It's been a long week. Now, for those of you who follow the channel, I think you'll know we had Easter, and then we had the great blackout last week, and then we had a bank holiday as well last week. And this is the first time in 3 weeks I've actually done this live. So it's been crazy, and this was our first full week back, which meant that not only did a lot of people come to life in terms of clients and stuff, it was also our service providers, everybody's first week back, and it's just made this week extremely busy, but very, very happy to get a full week's working with it being tomorrow. And then we've got a nice run up to summer now, before the summer holidays start with the kids. And it's been one of them. But anyway, we have got quite a bit of news to tell you, and we might, if he turns up on time, have a surprise at the end. Okay. And who else? Let's check who's on the chat. We have hi Chris from Lisa. Yes. Stu and Joe said you look it. I feel it. I was up early this morning as well, for our business meeting. So once every fortnight we do a business first, which is a great group of businesses, lots of which you've seen on Scats' channel as well, talking there. And but it starts at 8:30 in the morning, and with the traffic, you wouldn't believe the increase in traffic over the years. I've been going for 5 years here in Malaga, to business first, and when we leave the house, I used to leave at 8 to get there for past. I now have to leave at 7:15, and that's with road improvements, so it is getting busy. And who else we got on there? Yeah, loud and clear, you can hear us, can't you? Okay then, right, so what have we got? Let's start off with, well, I've got, first of all, I would like to thank Mel and Jackie from Murcia, who came in to see us in the office today. I didn't get photos, stupidly, because we were too busy yakking away. They've just got their years 4 and 5 approval, waiting for the appointment now. And I went to actually see them at their appointment on their first approval, and it was just fantastic to see them again 2 or 3 years later. They met Jane, who obviously communicates with everybody by email, but she never actually gets to see anybody. And just when you are locked away in the office, and I mention that a lot, it's lovely just to see people in the flesh instead of just on the passport photos. So thanks guys for coming today, and enjoy yourselves in Camino del Rey. Myself and Jackie had a great conversation about breaking bones, because she managed to break her wrist last year and I managed to break my arm. There's awful lot in common, though. I was very jealous of her scars because they're a lot better than mine. And we've got Neil on as well. How you doing, Neil? There we go. Who's going to be on our podcast as well very, very soon. And obviously you've seen Stu and Joe are on there on our podcast as well. Check that out on the channel. And also I want to say thanks to Harry, who I spoke to this week about getting his EU residency. He's got an Irish passport. But no, he's got an Irish ID card. Okay, and he's just wanted to tell us the problems that he's having traveling in and out using his Irish ID card. But then I forgot to ask him if he was traveling to the UK. Now, this is something we've got to research because everybody that we've been talking to has had an Irish passport. Now, Harry's was traveling in. He'll probably see this YouTube channel as well on an Irish card, and he's traveling in and out, and he keeps getting earache, for want of a better word, in Alicante, and he has done in Murcia about using the Irish card. But then after I put the phone down, I thought, if he's traveling to the UK, which isn't within the EU, maybe that's why they're asking for his passport, albeit they don't stamp it. The card wouldn't be enough, the same as a Spanish person can travel on their DNE card to Ireland, but if they want to go to the UK, they have to travel with a passport. So there we go. Anybody got any experience with that? Let us know. Visa updates. Right, finally, some good news with the visas. We've had some visas out from Manchester and London, and just to give you the demographic of the visas, we had a Manchester to Malaga in 11 weeks, which is fantastic because that's under 12 weeks, which is good for Manchester. We then had, and this is the order they came out in during the week, we then had London and Murcia 4-week turnaround. Wow, fantastic. We then had another Manchester Alicante 14 weeks. Okay, so it seems to be no rhyme or reason in in Manchester, and then another London Almeria in 4 weeks. They all came out, so that's 7 visas out for us this week. So that's that we're happy about that because we haven't had any for a couple of weeks now. But as you can see, it's completely random, with London being around 4 weeks and Manchester were 11 and 14 weeks to issue the visas. What we have noticed though is that Manchester seem to be, for some reason, asking an awful lot of questions after the fact. So people going with bank account statements showing passive income. We've had more questions regarding the source of the passive income, whether it's a pension, whether it's a rental, for example, and having to provide further documentation. Don't forget also that Manchester, if you've got no live trace, it came up again this week, generally tend to ask why it is no live trace. And before they just wanted an explanation, but we had a requirement to this week via email to send the second page of the ACRO, which describes exactly why that is no live trace, with a complimentary letter asking why the offence was on there. So yeah, it doesn't mean that the visa is going to get rejected. They're just asking for more details. And then what else did we have? Look, I did write a plan, guys, today. I did write a plan. So we've done Harry's, we've done the visas. What else have we done? If you got any questions, just stick them in the comments. If we don't like them, we won't answer them. No, Jackie, we'll try and answer them all. And what have we got here? Okay, so this is from Jackie. She's given me permission to read this out to you. And this is from her trip to the consulate. And what I am going to do, though, is put it on my screen so I can actually read it. And I said, Jackie, have you got a report back? She said, of course, I will share. You've probably realized by now that that I am really a woman of few words. I landed at the Salford Central an hour before my scheduled appointment times. Just to let you know, this is the Manchester BLS office. This is a report back from a client who went this week. It was a 2-minute walk to the centre. I had planned to maybe grab a coffee at the nearby cafe, and I needed the toilet. So I went and asked if there was one in the BLS building. There are disabled ladies and gents toilets available. No refreshments in the normal waiting room, but you're allowed to take your own drinks in. That's a good bit of info there. I was greeted cordially at the reception desk to the right of the entrance. The gentleman asked how I was, and I said, a bit nervous, to be honest. He reassured me that everyone was there to help and not to be worried. I showed my appointment letter and was given a plastic postage bag and asked to write my name and address and phone number on it. He gave me a slip with a waiting number on it and asked me to sit down. There was 20 minutes ahead of me on the screen above 20 numbers ahead of me on a screen above 6 cubicles. The waiting room is a bit like a cross between a GP waiting room and an Argos. I was called briefly, and when he said it was the NRV application, he checked my passport and I was asked to sit back down. He nodded to his right and said, "She will call you." Eventually, I was called, and it was a Spanish lady from Malaga who went through the documents. I had each one in order in poly pockets in a file. She went through them in 5 minutes and found nothing out of order. I must have looked worried about the acro, and she said, "Don't worry, it's not a violent crime." There's a little thing on there, but it wasn't violent. She did go and check with her boss that it was in date, and it was just few. Remember, you got 6 months on your acro, guys. I followed your very clear instructions in the upsticks pack, and this meant I was confident it was all done properly, and it was also great to have a pre-printed forms. I did meet 2 couples and a young lad from Cyprus who were asked for extra documents, so that's not uncommon. Once my documents had been made into a file, they were placed in a canvas bag, handed back to me, and I was asked to go for biometrics. This was a standing queue around the outside of the room, but it went down very quickly. When I got to the counter, I was asked for my folder and then asked to remove my glasses whilst she took a photo of me. I witnessed others having fingerprints taken, but they didn't go do mine. That was it, all done. Excuse me. I was in a building just under an hour, but bear in mind, I arrived well before scheduled time. I did seem, though, they were seeing people in order of booking in as opposed to the order of appointment time, which sometimes happens here with the NIE numbers in Malaga as well. I guess it would not have been impossible to pull everything together myself, Chris, but your support has been invaluable. And in that you're so responsive and calm, and it seems you have thought of everything. You took so much stress out of the visit for me. Thank you so much. Feel free to quote me on the above. Okay, then. So that was a great report back. Thank you very much, Jackie, for that. It was much appreciated. This is going to help people who are looking to move over and go into the Manchester BLS office. And just 1 second, you'll have to excuse me while I cough. There we go, and we're back. And Neil says, "We met your clients Graham and Julie a few times recently." Oh, cool. Yes, I was actually emailing back and forth with them today, and that's good. Strong mug of coffee. I actually got a strong mug of coffee. There you go. Exclusive upsticks mugs, these. How do you get one of these? We have got some to give away. Who we want to see? Who wants an upsticks mug? We have got some to give away, you know, guys. Right, and here is another comment that we got from our client John, who's given me permission to share it. Now, let me explain the situation. John is from Alicante, who where we have a appointment crisis at the moment, but I'm happy to say that we managed to get half the appointments we needed at the weekend, but people have had to travel up and down the length of the province, I'm afraid, to go to these appointments, and a lot of the time at last minute. The same for our translators who are out there working hard, appointment specialists. They're also traveling up and down the country, and it's just been a bit of a nightmare. But Alicante, we have had half of our appointments booked that we need, hoping to get the other half very, very soon. And John went to Denia, and he didn't have a declaración de entrada, the entrance into Spain declaration, albeit he did try to do this at the police station. And this is his story when he went with our appointment specialist. Good morning, Chris and Jane. An interesting morning yesterday at the National Police Station, Denia. Firstly, a big thank you to Julie, who was so helpful. Please feel free to use my comments on your blog if you wish. Here goes. I was greeted by a civilian employee who was not in uniform. I did see that she had a small book where she was making notes. Perhaps she was new. She looked at my passport and saw that entry into Europe was from the UK was France and not Spain. She said because of this, she could not issue the TIE. Julie explained that Jill received her TIE last Wednesday without a hitch, which was exactly the same process in exactly the same police station. Via Julie, I explained that we had visited the National Police Station in both La Jonquera and Torrevieja within 72 hours of arrival. into Spain to get a certificate of entry signed, but have been turned away. I then showed copies of a Channel Tunnel ticket leaving the UK together with a sequential trail of receipts through France all the way down to La Bata. One such receipt was from a hotel in La Jonquera, just a short distance from the French border. It was quite obvious the route we had taken. I think even Julie was becoming alarmed at this stage. After a number of phone calls, the lady told us that she could now issue a TIE. She scanned a copy of the hotel receipt a la Jonquera. The whole process took about 30 minutes. For future clients that take this route into Spain, it is imperative that all receipts are kept. Another alternative would be for Upsticks to have an agreement with the police office in Jonquera where they could stamp the certificate of entry. It would take 1 minute. The reason they stayed in La Jonquera was the close proximity to the police station, which we had researched prior to leaving the UK. Please could you pass our thanks to Julie? She is a credit to Upsticks. Well, thanks for that, John. Yeah, I would love to have an agreement evidently on the border, but I'm afraid that the border control guards won't be signing any agreements with us. But yeah, that's it basically. Now, just to summarize on that, if you can't get a declaración de entrada, make sure you keep all your receipts of coming into the country. We have never had a problem like that in Denia anyway, with or without a declaración de entrada of getting the visas, even if you've got a passport stamp in France. So don't worry too much. Ultimately, we do have Gibraltar around the corner if you need an in-out stamp anyway. But as I say, that hasn't been necessary so far. But we're glad that got done, John, and your trip to Denia was successful. I know it was a long one for you, but you've got to go where we can get the appointments at the moment. Okay, then, let's crack on with our YouTube comments. Well, we've still got 8 people on. That's cool. Not everybody's ducked off yet. What we got going on in the comments anyway? Lisa says, I'd love an Upsticks mug, pretty please. Okay, you're the first one to call it today. Then you can have today's mug. How about that? Lisa, remind me your address. Stick it. I know it's Nurco. Lisa from Nurco, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Stick me your address in an email again so I don't have to dig it out. And then we'll give another one away next week to the first person who remembers to ask for one. How about that? That sounds good. And our YouTube comments. What have we got going on here on YouTube? Well, let's have a look. I haven't even read these comments. So I did a video which was an inspection in Andalusia, Spain's road safety inspection. When I passed my car, I decided to do a little video just off the cuff. Go check it out on our channel. In fact, I should get you the thumbnail up, shouldn't I, really, for that? And luckily it passed first time, and it was an absolutely seamless process. The ITVs really here are very what should we say, efficient here, almost too efficient at times. So Alred, what's your channel? Our French, can't remember now what your channel is. I did mention it once on here. Anyway, thanks for that, Chris. The process is so different to the ones in France. That's a much longer process, so I'm guessing it's a bit more complex. Good to know that how Spanish one works, though. Just a question for you. When people go who don't speak fluent Spanish, is it advisable to take someone with you who does? I'm thinking of what happens during that time you're in with the technician. Now, my advice would be no. If you don't speak Spanish and you want to learn Spanish, the best thing you can do is go, because once you're on that line, you're not getting out. It doesn't matter whether you speak English, Spanish, or any other language. You're going through whether you like it or not, and you're going to have to bumble your way through it. And if you don't speak Spanish, I guarantee you will learn a couple of words. So my advice would drive up, book your car in. It's very, very easy, and just go for it 100%. And if you don't speak Spanish, it will be an adventure, because this is one of those situations where there's nowhere to go. You're going to have to get to the end one way or another. And you may get a friendly technician who says, hey, no worry, a bit of English and helps. Or you might get somebody who's miserable and just grunts a lot. But whatever happens, you'll have to go through it. So I would definitely crack on and have fun and be part of your journey in Spain. And that's the video that I did. Please check it out on our channel. Right. And the next comment is, oh, we've still got 9 people on. European family members residency. That's quite an older video of mine. Does this proof need to be provided for each month in the last year 5-10 period? No, it doesn't actually. Including your UK nationals and the family members from third countries, nationals protected by Article 50 withdrawal. I think you've confused 2 different residencies there, a DSBR4NM. The for EU family members, this video was directed at them and the application we do to the government for their approval. And you're talking about the proof of actually living in Spain, where they ask for crazy things like everything from bills, restaurant bills, to proof you've been spending money in Spain, utility bills, etc. That's definitely not needed for the permanent residency application, normally not. And it's not needed with withdrawal agreement renewals. So yeah. And we've got here, oh, this was on my ITV video. Good one, Chris, and congrats on passes. Cheers, Patrick and Trev. Also, San Pedro de Alcantara. So I mentioned all of the ITV stations in the video. I said Marbella instead of San Pedro de Alcantara, but Marbella is actually the town. San Pedro de Alcantara is a district of Marbella, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned Marbella, but my apologies if I didn't. But San Pedro is actually in Marbella. When does my residency start? So this is an interesting question from Owen. Owen, who's now waiting for his visa. Hopefully he's watching the channel. And it's, how will this affect health insurance? Interesting. How will this affect health insurance? Because we had to take out health insurance before knowing our final plans. What happens in 365 days visa validity runs after the health insurance expires? Well, normally, because when we're talking about the non-lucrative visa here, Owen, so yeah, I agree. Okay, with people, as much as I love the Spanish authorities, you know, I'm always on the side of our clients, and I absolutely agree. The level of commitment that you need to get to prepare for the visa and to submit your application for the visa is huge, considering you don't know that they're going to give it to you. But evidently, if you've got no red flags, there should be no reason to not get the visa. The red flags being you've got enough funding, you've got the healthcare in place, you're not working and can prove you're not working, you haven't got a criminal record, and you've got somewhere to live in Spain. Okay, they're the main red flags that we check out. As long as you tick all the boxes there, everything else can be molded into a successful application. But yeah, you know, it's a question we have all the time. When do we start the health insurance? Well, what normally happens is we say to people, well, you need to start your health insurance on your expected or desired entry date into Spain. So, for example, we had a client who's going into London this week, and they want to be in Spain in the middle of July. I said, well, look, start your health insurance in July. And then that shows the consulate that you are willing, you want to come in July, but it means that this time, May, June, that you're waiting for your visa to come out, you're not wasting health insurance. It's a common misconception that the health insurance have to have started at the time of your appointment in BLS. It only needs to have been paid for and the documentation in place, and it can post date, start date of the health insurance can post date your actual BLS appointment. What will happen, Owen, on renewal is, because you have 2 months before the card expires once you've registered in Spain, and 3 months after to renew. You've got a 5-month window in which normally the health insurance renewal falls into that window, and that's one of the bits of paperwork which fall into our structure and our timeline when it comes to presenting the documents for the renewal. So it's normally not a problem, but yeah, it's normally before. The reason being is because people have to start the healthcare or have it paid for before, and you don't know how long your visa is going to be, especially in places like Manchester. But there's never a problem as long as you renew it and you've got the renewal certificate and you can present that at your visa renewal. That's good. Just remember, if you're going to be switching platforms, say for example you got your health insurance the first year and you're going on to an S1 the second year, that you have to give the insurance the correct amount of time to cancel the policy or they're automatically going to renew. That's something that you really need to make sure you're on top of. And what else have we got to tell you? Oh yeah, and you can never have any gaps in your insurance during the period of your NRV. Anyway, what else have we got? Oh, see, here we go. Hi guys, Sheila Goodwin. Hi Chris, hope you're well. From Sheila and Dave in Bingley, West Yorkshire. Who are in the process of applying for our visas? How you doing, guys? Good to see you on. Thanks for dropping in. And let's have a look. Have we got any more comments to show you? What's this comment here? Oh, that comment's not working. There we go. Driving license exchange, Manuel Cherokee. That's a great name, isn't it, for a handle on YouTube. I have a category D bus. This means that it will not be converted if I move in Spain. That's correct. Up to CE, they will give you on a British license normally. Only up to C. D doesn't mean you lose it. You continue to maintain your entitlement on your license, shall we say, in the UK where you passed it. But if you exchange it for a Spanish one, it won't be issued on your license. And then I just wanted to show you a couple of videos that we've got coming up, guys. This is going to be a fun one. This has already been recorded. There we go. Mike and Yvonne from Between the Lakes in Torrevieja. And that was my very clever thumbnail. I was quite impressed with that. Torrevieja comes to life on a bike. And that's a podcast we've got going Saturday at 6 o'clock. Do not miss it. It's fantastic. So pleased now I'm getting some YouTubers on the podcast as well. And here we go. I'm afraid I had to use the cactus for my thumbnail today. That is a cactus which has flowered in my garden and has grown exponentially this winter. Has really enjoyed, believe it or not, the sun and the rain. There we go. And we're wondering if that cactus is actually going to grow anymore. So I think that's it for the YouTube comments. So let's go out and about in Spain. These videos are cutting off still. I don't know why this system does it, but never mind. Who cares? So what have we got going on out and about in Spain? Anybody else on the chat at the moment? Oh, Lisa says she'll have a lipstick smurf. Yeah, Lisa from there. I knew it was. And out and about in Spain, what do I have here? We have this from Robocop, or Robo as he's known. My son calls him Robo. Now that is the price. Oh, it couldn't load it. Why is it not supporting it? Robo. There we go. I think that's on. Can you guys all see it? It is now. Now I can't see from your photo there the price of the diesel, but it looks like the diesel's at 122.9 in Alicante this week. I think that was the latest one you sent me, wasn't it? Which has gone down again. It's getting cheap. I can't see the price of the petrol there underneath. So yesterday when I was filling up, I went and took this, which is in Malaga, and it's 128.9, and this is in the local petrol station to me. So where Malaga is normally a bit expensive, I mean, let's check this one out. This is one that Robbo sent to me earlier in the week. There we go. So it looks like you're 123.9 you're at for petrol and 130 odd for diesel. And here in Malaga, even at the cheap places, we're a good 10 cents more on the petrol and 5 or 6 cents more on the diesel. Why is that? Why are we so much more expensive here? It's not worth me driving to say hi, have a beer with you guys, and then drive back, is it? And what else have we got here? We'll get Robbo's photos as well. This is from Guadalest. Check this out, just outside of Benidorm. I think Robbo has his mum over. That looks absolutely amazing. Thanks for sending these through. But it doesn't look as full as I thought it would. That's strange. It doesn't look. I thought that would be a lot fuller. I'm not too sure at what stage it was where it emptied out to, but that is Guadalest. I know nothing about that, but apparently it's just outside of Benidorm, and that's where Robo went up to take his mum when he was on holiday, when she's been on holiday. And I've got my mum here at the moment. We're having an amazing time. Though Lara and my mum seem to have a secret bar on the beach in Torremolinos. Love to know what that's all about. I haven't been yet. Apparently there's a gym next door with lots of muscly guys. And here we go. I said the cactus looks like, yeah, it does. Yeah. I thought it was amusing, childish, but it was amusing. I've got some more. I won't tell you some of the comments I got when I shared that around my friends group. And that was great. Thanks for sending those in. And we also have here, check this out, also from Robbo, who's been having lots of fun on AI. That was quite funny. I did chuckle at that. Hey. So YouTooSpain amigos. So take it that's me and Scats, is it? Who can I say? Scats is in the vicinity. And I'm trying to eke this video out until he comes back, and now I've lost him. He's somewhere about. I think he's sneaked off to Burger King because he's going to be doing a recording here, not with me, with someone else soon. But yeah, where's he gone? But thank you very much for that. That's absolutely awesome, and it did make me laugh. I found that quite funny. And last but not least, oh no, hang on, we've got a couple of bits going on here. Yeah, Stu says it's Guadalest is stunning. Yeah, we'll have to do that next time. I am planning a trip up to Castellón again this year, and it was all a bit rushed, to be honest, last year, and I only stopped one night in Mazarron. Didn't manage to catch anybody, but this year we were like, right, if it's a summer trip and we can work out a bit of remote working, I might spend 10 days traveling around. And it'll mean a bit of work in the morning, but then knocking off at 2 o'clock, and then staying probably in Mazarron, and then staying also up near the Benidorm area, Alicante, going to Castellón for a couple of days, and then doing a bit of a trip back. We're sort of pre-planning that at the moment, very pre-planning it. It's no real set plans, but it would be great just to get up and see everybody and get out and about for a bit once the kids are off of school. And the only thing is, I hate remote working. I love being in the office in terms of like everything's here, and I can remote work quite easily, and there's people here in the office if we need them, but that's something I've got to get over. And what I do want to thank Stu for is this. Check out these flowers that he took when he was out for a walk with waffles. Now that's got a name. That it looks like an English meadow, as he said. And no, it certainly does. That's incredible. And I don't know where everybody else's place looks like at the moment in Spain, but I can tell you what, it's incredible at the moment, the amount of greenery that's here in Andalusia, and the flowers and the wildflowers. Check those out. Now I've actually got those. I think I've got those in a pot. They're like a succulenty type thing, don't they? Aren't they? They're brilliant, but they normally die off completely in the summer and then come back in the winter. There we go. The daisies and margaritas. You can make tea out of those, believe it or not. The the white ones. I don't know about the yellow ones. And that, I have no clue what it is, but it looks like a creeper. Very, very, very pretty. And then this one here, which is that. We were discussing the name of that yesterday because I have one of these in our garden, which is slowly and surely taking over the patio, which is a bit fun, but never mind. And the last photo I think I've got to show you here today is that is a beach bar in a place called Rincón de la Victoria. And Rincón de la Victoria is in East Malaga. And we stopped there on the way home from having something nice to eat in a restaurant, which I wasn't that impressed with, to be honest with you, for the price of it. The pie here wasn't as good as mine. But we stopped there and it was €6 for a gin and tonic. There you go. And about 180 for a beer, and you're literally on the beach. So how's that? Not bad. Oh, and Robbo says diesel prices top. Diesel is cheaper than petrol. That's right. Yeah. Sorry. Diesel is cheaper than petrol here as well. So, yeah, that's it. Oh, well, it doesn't look like our guest is turning up today. I have been waiting. I've got nothing else to say now. Anybody got any questions for me? He said he was going to turn up. I'm trying to see if I've got any more photos to show you, really. Here we go. Talking about English meadows. Want to talk about an English meadow? It's not often that I get stuck for words, is it? There's an English meadow in flying close to London, close to Stansted. There you go. That's a photo that I took in Stansted, flying to the UK. And there they've built a statue. What else have we got here to show you? Mini golf in Benalmádena. Getting desperate now, aren't we, for content? There we go. All right, guys. Well, it doesn't look like Scats is going to turn up. I thought he might have done, but he's probably still eating his burger. He is in the vicinity at the moment, but never mind. Soon Joe said, it'd be great to see you in the summer if you can get to Mazarron. Yeah, I'd love to, guys. We're sort of pre-planning it now. I have a short holiday next month out of the country, going to Italy, believe it or not, for 4 days because it was cheap Ryanair flights. And then in the summer, I think a sort of a road trip, which we can combine with work and meeting people and getting out and about, would be a good idea. Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. I am going to wrap up. We are on 38 minutes now. So Scats is here somewhere. Completely lost him. He'll turn up, I'm sure. We'll be back next week for weekly update number 66. So remember to subscribe, like, remember to check out the videos at the weekend. I did another video today in the car with the 360 camera, which I'm now getting the hang of. This is the camera that I was using when I broke my arm. And I saved the camera, but I didn't save my arm. And then I haven't really got to grips with it since. And I used it today to do a video. And it's basically me waffling on about the month of May in Spain. So check that out. I will get it on the channel as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And say goodbye with the comments. Yeah, I'd love to see you there. And yellow flowers, Chris, is rapeseed. Yeah, that's rapeseed in the UK. That always makes you sneeze. And that was the photo from the plane. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on weekly update number 66 next week. And let's see if we can find the outro.